And here we go, fine fans. Once again, 3 rounds in the flyweight division, brought to you by Hippodrome Casino. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a wrestler, striker, standing 5 feet, 5 inches tall. Weighing in officially 125 and 1/2 pounds. His professional record in 12 bouts, 8 victories and 4 defeats. Fighting out of Barcelona, Spain, by way of Romania, here is Paul El Empalador Marin. And across the cage, his opponent stands fighting out of the red corner. A mixed martial artist standing 5 feet 11 inches tall. He weighed in 125 pounds and brings a record that stands at 6 victories and 4 defeats with 1 no contest. Fighting out of Poole, England, here is Scott Too Hot Pooley. Referee in charge of the action is Ricardo Mitchell.
Referee Rich Mitchell about to get this one underway. Paul El Empalador Marin in the solid black trunks. Scott Too Hot Pooley in the black with white and blue trim. 3 5-minute rounds if they need them. Touch of the gloves and we are underway, and there's that head kick straight away, Josh.
Yeah, it's off the front leg as well, straight up the open side of Paul Marin's guard. Giving the Romanians something to think about with keeping the hands high.
Kicks coming from all angles early on this fight from Scott Pooley. Told to expect a head kick KO or perhaps a flying triangle. Cage Warriors fans watching via the stream on the Daily Mail website, they want to keep an eye open for one of those spectacular finishes.
Marin tying up early with a couple of short shots inside. Good plum clinch from Pooley though.
Using his height advantage well there, getting those knees up nice and high.
Yeah, there's a few things he can really use this reach advantage for. One thing he does not want to be though is on his back with Paul Marin in a dominant position on him. But I think he'll be fairly content even ending up in guard were the Romanian to take him down.
A couple of nice rights from Marin there. And you already saw the guard coming up from Pooley as soon as he was on his back.
Really looking to get those legs to work early.
Josh, talk about how the limb length of someone like Scott Pooley can help in a triangle situation.
Well, anytime you're on the ground, to just have that much more leverage, that much more opportunity to grab a hold of somebody and use, what is a very powerful limb on your body is always going to help. What you don't want to be, though, is stuck where you've got to move them in a tight space, such as escaping a side control. But good catch of the kick from Paul Marin, who's trying to get out of this knee reap, but it's a very nice leg tangle from Scott Pooley. Going to be looking for a heel hook here. He's got the reap all the way under the far leg as well.
This looks dangerous, Josh. Marin doing his best to fight out of it. Pooley's got that ankle though.
Yeah, Marin's trying to turn out, but you can see it's the far leg that Scott Pooley's actually controlling here. Turning the hip and turning the knee. It's deceptive though, it does only take the smallest amount of adjustment to really free your knee from a substantial amount of danger.
And Marin's out. And Pooley's back on his feet. Warm round of applause from the crowd at the copper box here for that exchange.
I don't think we'll see Scott Pooley throw too many more kicks. Marin's been catching them right from the start of the bout.
Spinning back fist, just missed there from Scott Pooley. Pooley perhaps hunting one of the Cage Warriors bounties. Head kick KO, spinning KO, $2,000 in the bank. And again, Marin catches the leg.
Yeah, but it's a good tie clinch again. You can see Marin having to go in for the body lock. Strong whizzer.
Now circle, don't be lazy, don't be lazy. Good work.
Scott Pooley's corner asking for movement. So Marin tried to throw the knee there, but just
such a height disadvantage.
Couldn't get it high enough. Pooley keeps throwing these kicks, they keep getting caught, but perhaps he wants Marin to come down into his guard.
I can see at some point that kick is not going to go to the midsection of the leg. Marin's going to go to catch it, and that kick's going to come all the way up to the head. It's a very long game plan, but it's certainly effective. Marin tying up here. Strong overhook. Fighting for wrist control here. Goes for the throw, landed himself in. Well, I mean, he got the takedown, but he's in a dangerous position here. Looking for the triangle. He's going to try and step over that leg. Good work from Paul Marin to be aware there.
Very smooth pass there from Marin. Looking to stay heavy on Pooley now.
Pooley came very close to sneaking his leg all the way over the top. He had that control on the left-hand side, and he knew exactly what he wanted to go for from the moment his back hit the canvas.
Marin with a strong grip there around the head of Pooley, just easing himself forward. Perhaps going to look to pass that other leg, but Pooley now.
Yeah, immediately getting up on his side, looking for that underhook, re-establishing full guard. Good fundamentals. Marin's got to be careful here, though. He can't leave that hand inside. He's got to get both. He's got to get both hands back inside. Scott Pooley was looking for that wrist control, trying to push one hand through his legs, and that sets up a whole host of submissions. Strong underhook control here, though.
Well, the last loss Paul Marin picked up was an armbar submission against Marcin Lasota earlier this year. Perhaps been working on his submission defense since. With a very different kind of opponent here in Scott Pooley. Pretty much the polar opposite opponent physically.
Yeah, he's got to watch the up kicks. Good first round from Paul Marin, though. Had to find off a couple of submission attempts from Scott Pooley, but really he was doing the better of the work on the feet, catching the kicks, countering that good overhand right.
Let's take a look back at some of the action from the first round. Scott Pooley coming out with the head kicks early on that one on the gloves. And there you see Marin catching the kick, following up with those winging right hands. And it was the same story, Josh, repeatedly catching the kicks and dumping his man on the map.
You can see immediately, though, the ground game of Scott Pooley here in this leg tangle. So dangerous. The moment his back hits the canvas.
Pooley does have a win by knee bout on his record.
Here's the throw from Paul Marin, turns his hips in. Didn't get full elevation. You can see halfway through, Scott Pooley realized he was off balance and he was going to hit the ground anyway, so he tried to land himself in the most advantageous position he could early.
Back for me, Paul.
Great awareness from that youngster.
It wasn't quite Air Marin like we've come to expect, but there's still plenty of time. And plenty of time for Scott Pooley to get back in this contest. Flashy kick there from Pooley. Landed just short. Bit of capoeira mixed in here.
I don't know if he's trying to land that with any intention or he's just giving Marin a few other things to think about. Again, though, Marin with a big overhand right.
Big right hand there from Marin. Nice takedown.
Watch your head there, Paul.
Again, finds himself tangled up in that guard of Scott Pooley.
And his hip throw off that whizzer is so strong. That Greco-Roman background, of course, Greco-Roman, you're not actually allowed to attack the legs in any way. So any moment someone ties up in the upper body, you've got to do your best to lever them over onto the floor. But you can see Marin driving forward to try and negate some of the guard of Scott Pooley. Just means Pooley's got to have a bit more dexterity to get the legs up around the head and arms of Marin. If Marin sits back, which is what you would look to traditionally do, he's going to be right in striking range for the Southerner.
Just over a minute of the second round gone. I was talking to Paul Marin's coach earlier this week, and he informed me that Paul had quite a substantial weight cut. He did take this fight on just over a week's notice. Had to drop a significant amount of weight to make the 125-pound limit.
It's never really been a problem for him before. He's been to decision quite a few times. So what a good combination that was.
Paul Marin on the attack here.
I swear I just heard his corner shout for suplex in the flurry. Getting worried, then grab a hold of him. It's a good game plan from Marin so far, though. He's scoring those takedowns, stalling out on the ground a little bit, and then coming back up to the feet, where, to be fair, he's having a much better success.
Big right hand from Marin there. Pooley's hurt, and this one is over. Paul Marin knocks out Scott Pooley in the second round.
What a great finish on the feet from Paul Marin. That overhand right worked for him several times, went to the well again, and despite the massive reach disadvantage, what a weapon.
It was a huge right hand and fantastic killer instinct from Paul Marin. Our medical team just checking Scott Pooley now. Fighter safety of paramount importance here at Cage Warriors. A very happy Paul Marin celebrating his victory. His 4th in the Cage Warriors cage. Let's take a look at exactly how it went down.
And once again, it was catching the kick, striking with that overhand right, and it was the follow-up, the relentlessness to say, hey, maybe I didn't land the first one. Let's go again. Great hip toss there.
Strong work on the ground from Marin, chasing his man down.
I mean, clearly he'd done the work with the groundwork fundamentals to know how to negate that kind of reach advantage, and there again, the overhand right rocked him.
Slight delay on the knockout. Referee Rich Mitchell had seen enough. Your winner's Paul Marin. Let's throw it to Joe Martinez in the cage to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes to the official time, 1 minute, 55 seconds. Round number 2, referee Rich Mitchell steps in and stops this contest. Your winner by TKO, Paul El Empalador Marin.
A big win for Paul Marin. Puts him right back up there in the Cage Warriors flyweight division. Commiserations for Scott Pooley on his Cage Warriors debut. I'm sure we'll see him back in the cage in 2015.